Jim, it wasn't pretty, but that's an absolutely massive 3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, I think against an opponent like St Mirren, the game is never going to be a classic. They simply don't allow you to get the ball down, and that's credit to them. And the way that Stephen Robinson has them fired up before the game, they're a really energetic and athletic team, and they make the game really, really difficult for you when you've got possession of the ball. So we knew that all week. We'd been preparing for that type of game. St Mirren probably force you to defend your own penalty area more than any other team in the league. Every opportunity they get, they're pumping the ball forward to the big two strikers. They've got really good athletic midfielders running beyond. They play for long throws and set plays, and as a defence, you've got to stand up and be counted in those moments, and I thought the players done that brilliantly. There's many ways to win games of football, and sometimes you can't always play the nice football that we played last weekend at Ibrox. You've got to find different ways to win, and there's nothing wrong with an ugly 3 points sometimes, and we'll take that all day long.
Yeah, what does it say about the character of the group managing to come from behind, given the last couple of results here at Tannadice?
I thought against the likes of Livingston and Kilmarnock in particular, we struggled against that type of side. And we've taken our learnings from that, and that's why we went with the type of lineup that we did today. We put as much presence in the team as possible, with the likes of Iovu coming back in and Muller from the start, because of the significance that we had to put on defensive set plays. And for as much as St Mirren had the ball in and around our penalty area, we limited them to any real clear-cut chances. There was lots of shots from distance. There was lots of good blocks as well from the players. I thought we defended the box fantastically. In games like that, sometimes it's about staying in the game, and I thought we'd done that really well. And that allowed me then in the latter stages of the game to make the changes that were necessary. We spoke about it all week, about winning those battles, about, as I said, staying in the game, and give us the opportunity going into the latter stages of the game to bring on the likes of Trapanovsky and Fata and really have a go going into the last 15-20 minutes, and thankfully it paid off.
Don't think anyone embodied the team spirit that we saw today more than Amar Fata, shouldering the responsibility to step up and put that penalty away with just about 5 minutes remaining, given what happened earlier in the season.
Yeah, when we got the penalty, I called him over to the dugout and I told him to go and get the ball and put it in the back of the net and put that penalty miss against Rapid Vienna behind him. I don't think there's any better way than to do exactly what he done. He was really unfortunate against Vienna, an inch to the left, and it would have been one of the best penalties we've ever seen. But today, that's the type of character that he is. He's got courage and showed great composure to put the goalkeeper the wrong way and slot it into the bottom corner.
Sibs is having his own goal of the season competition as well, isn't
he? He is, definitely, yeah. Look, Sibs has got great quality, such an important player to the group. The fact that he can play a number of different positions across that midfield. He came through at Falkirk as a number 10, so that being in that attacking midfield area is nothing that's not out of the ordinary for him. But also, he really takes responsibility in the defensive areas of the pitch as well. But fantastic strike. It was nice to get it at that moment as well, and I think it calmed everybody down. We've been guilty of late, particularly. When you look back at last weekend, losing that late goal to lose all 3 points and only come away with a draw at Ibrox. The players done fantastic today to take maximum points against an extremely difficult opponent.
Just on Sibs, I think he's the player that's made the most appearances under your reign. He's been a great servant to this football club in the last few years, hasn't he?
He has been, yeah, definitely, and such an important player for me as manager since I've came to the club. There's times where he hasn't played and he's had to bide his time and be patient and wait for his opportunity in the team again, and he always remains professional throughout those moments when maybe he's not getting the game time that he wants. His standards never drop in training. He's always ready when needed, and his last couple of performances have been really important for us.
Do you see this as maybe a result that can be the catalyst for the form here at Tannadice?
I hope so. Look, we didn't play particularly great today, but as I said in the opening question, I don't think St Mirren will allow you to play nice, fancy football, and that's why the team against Rangers at Ibrox last weekend was completely different to the one here today. So today it was about rolling our sleeves up, about showing a bit of character, about showing a little bit of resilience at times, weathering the storm. And I thought we'd done that. So look, we're not getting carried away. It's 3 points at the end of the day. You know, we do certainly feel that in some of the games, you know, we've been leading in 4 of the games this season out of the 9 league games that we've played, and you know, we've not been able to hold on and take 3 points. Whereas today we've had to come from behind again. I have to say, I don't think that was due to a slow start. I don't think we were slow out of the traps today. I actually thought we started the game quite well, but the goal against is really disappointing, because I felt in that moment, you know, Lucas Stevenson has went to head the ball. He's been volleyed in the face. He's got serious damage to his face. You know, his lips are burst open. I think he might have broke his nose as well. For me, you know, not that I'm out here trying to get opponents booked, but had the yellow card been shown for dangerous play on that occasion, and Lucas Stevenson wouldn't have had to go off the pitch, we wouldn't have been down to 10 men when St Mirren scored their goal. Luca would have been on that side of the pitch in his position, defending the cross. And you know, don't get me wrong, we have to defend, you know, the ball into the box a whole lot better as well. Somebody's got to take command of that situation. But credit to Luca, you know, the type of character he is. You know, I love the boy to bits. He gives you everything in training every day. There's not many young players out here now in the modern day game that would play on, you know, under the circumstances, having been volleyed in the face the way that he was today. So, yeah, really important player. You know, really important result. And you know, sometimes there are games where the result is sometimes more important than the performance, and I think, you know, that showed today.
Just finally, another quick turnaround, playing Motherwell on Wednesday night. Does it give us a wee bit of an opportunity to empty the tank, given that we've not got another game for about 10 days or so after that?
Yeah, I mean, look, it has been a little bit stop-start, you know, this season up to now, and you know, it's very difficult for any team to try and, you know, get a bit of momentum. But there's nothing better, you know, than having another game so early. You know, we've got a really good, strong squad now at the moment as well. Motherwell game will be a completely different type of game to the one that we faced here today. You know, the new head coach at Motherwell has been getting, you know, lots of plaudits for the style of play. So we're going to have to have a different mentality going into that one. You know, we're going to be playing against a team that wants to build from the back, that wants to play possession-based football, and we're going to have to make sure that we're set up to deal with that, but also set up in a way that we can go and impose ourselves on Motherwell and try and get back-to-back wins.